Hello, welcome back to the Dollhouse. I am the doll, and today I'm going to talk about MLS dating. And if you're new here, welcome. Please like the video. You don't have to commit to subscribing just yet, but hopefully I won't earn your subscription. The purpose of this channel is to discuss the topics that impact first generation and multi-generationally mixed and light-skinned American women. And I'm going to refer to my audience as MLS women, that's mixed and light-skinned women, for the purpose of this video. And that term was originated by Exoticals United. Check her out if you haven't made yourself familiar with that channel already. Please follow it. And my aim is to highlight us MLS women and our own beauty standards and making ourselves our own living standard. And so it should encourage MLS women to take full advantage of the privileges of our phenotype. So let's dig into it. Speaking of privileges, quote unquote, of our phenotype, MLS women have been endowed with the label or the crown or the title of being the preference for the sons of the American enslaved, also known as African American or Black men. Mixed and light-skinned women have been held out as the preference for the dark-skinned sons of the American enslaved. So, I will put a clip of an old show called Donahue where he quotes Spike Lee talking about this phenomenon.
You wish you had hair like this.
Girl, you know you weren't even born with blue eyes.
That's right. Blue contact lenses. They're just jealous.
Right.
Jealous.
Rachel,
I've been watching you. Look at Julian. You're not slick.
if that was true, he wasn't much to look at. Pickaninny, Barbie doll, high yellow heifer, tar baby, wanna be white, jigaboo.
Well, there's the litany of dirty names to call people. Here's what, that's from School Days, a film directed by Spike Lee. Here's what he said. Whether black men admit it or not, they feel light-skinned women are more attractive than dark-skinned, and they'd rather see long hair than a short afro because that's closer to white women. That comes from being inundated with media from the time you're born that constantly fed you, the white woman, as the image of beauty. That's both conscious and unconscious, said Mr. Lee. But on the whole, talking to my friends and knowing men, I see that a premium is put on light-skinned sisters with long hair.
So, since we're the preference for these men, this class of men comes with its own set of challenges with regard to dating. And all men come with challenges. These men have the likelihood to embody some characteristics that could be detrimental to you. Since you are more likely to be asked out by a black man, African American man, the sons of the American enslaved, since MLS women are their preference, I want to help MLS women understand how to choose better. How to choose better men. The 4 types of men that MLS women should avoid are what we will be discussing today. How to choose better. They say choose better on the very popular podcasts. And this is all about how to avoid dusties, pookies, and ray-rays. Avoiding the dusties. Now, a dusty is actually different from a pookie or a ray-ray to me, because a man can be a dusty without being a pookie or without being a ray-ray. A dusty is just a man who's not comfortable in his divine masculine as a provider. He's stingy, not a giver. He wants to be the receiver. He's more like a child than a man. He's filled with fear of his own survival, and it's hard to admire a dusty. Now, a man can grow out of being a dusty. That's another difference between being a Pookie and a Ray Ray. A man can be a Pookie or he can be a Ray Ray, but he can also be generous. So let's talk about these 4 traits. What makes a man a Pookie? How do you know if he is a Ray Ray? The number one way is if he has a record of an unprovoked attack or a violent crime or an essay on his past record that prevents him from participating as a full citizen. That makes him a Pookie. We'll say, is that Pookie or is that Ray Ray? I don't know. But we will say that that's a trait that MLS women should avoid if possible. Someone who has that kind of record, it can get in the way of your future together. Your financial future can be restricted. His employment options, if he's seeking employment, his ability to hold certain offices. And in the case of certain people with SA, the offender registries prevent you from moving around freely. I'm not even sure if certain individuals can get a passport with these certain strikes on their record. Unprovoked attacks, violent crimes, breaking and entering, that sort of thing. Yeah, it's a bad decision that most men made when they were young and stupid and wouldn't make again, but it's too late. You already made the decision. You are now a Pookie. Accept your role as a Pookie and understand how it could be something that affects anyone who's involved with you, whether in business or in marriage, long term. So that's the number one type of person to be wary of. Not to say that, you can't still decide to be with such a man, but it's certainly something to be aware of. The number two thing that makes a man a Pookie or a Ray Ray is children out of wedlock. Men give single mothers a hard time, but who are the daddies? They say, oh, you should have chose better. But is every single father out there a bad man? No, but he certainly is a Pookie. Every man that made that decision without thinking about his future. It was a bad decision that now impacts him for the rest of his life and any woman who he meets and comes in contact with. The children will take resources, time, and energy away from the legacy that you are building with any woman that you bring into your life after you have a child out of wedlock. And it's okay. Their kids can be the absolute cutest and very lovable. And even if you are rich, that energy is definitely, it takes focus away from your life with the woman that you're bringing into it. And it makes you a Pookie. Now, a woman may still overlook that, but please get your Pookie t-shirts from the link below, because you are indeed a Pookie. And the number 3 type of guy to avoid is a Ray Ray. And this is a man who has a substance abuse problem. He drinks alcohol over the legal limit. Then he drives. He puts himself at risk, his livelihood at risk, other people's lives on the line, and your whole household. Substance abuse. That's something to really not play about. Dependence on illegal drugs that put him at risk, put your family at risk. This is a Ray Ray. This is Ray Ray all day. Not being cognizant, sharp, alert, not able to be a good protector, putting you at risk, reducing the level of protection that you have over you because he wants to act a fool in the streets. So, no. substance abuse. Obviously, very much a Ray Ray-ish characteristic. The drunks that used to be in front of the liquor store, Ray Ray. The men slumped over on the corner, addicted to methamphetamines, Ray Ray. These men come in all races. Pookies and Ray Rays can be of any race, but it's good to know their traits because women have to protect themselves, and in this modern age, really be smart about the men that they involve themselves with. There's no reason to risk yourself unnecessarily. And these are the things that you should look for that count against a man, no matter how cute he is and how much chemistry you feel. The butterflies, they need to die. Call Terminix on the butterflies. You know, he may have supported himself by illegal means, and then he may have improved himself, but with that sort of thing in his past, it could also be indicative of him trying to cut corners in other ways. And even if he has legitimate business now, he could just be the type of guy who likes to shirk on the work, or the type of guy who doesn't always follow through with his word because he feels that he is entitled to get something for nothing or break some rule because the rules don't apply to him. So just something to be aware of, honey. You can date these men that are Pookies and Ray Rays, but these 4 things make a man a Pookie or a Ray Ray. So if you're a man and you're listening and you happen to be a Pookie or a Ray Ray or a Dusty, don't beat yourself up. Just get in where you fit in. Understand that women will have questions about this, and that women are not going to, from this point, well, the ones that listen to this channel and have ears and brains, they're not going to take you seriously just because you make them promises. They will want to know about your past history and your tendencies and patterns. And if they ask you questions related to your substance abuse, your children, your criminal past, just to see if you have one or any of those, don't be offended. Women have to avoid Pookies and Ray Rays. You are the ones telling them to choose better, and that's all they're trying to do. So I hope this video makes sense. Let me know if there are other traits that you can think of that make a man a Pookie or a Ray Ray. I'm very interested in hearing your perspectives. Talk to y'all soon.